Welcome back to my series, Dance Mums Unedited. This is the series where I discuss production notes written by the producers of Dance Mums. These notes show us what happened behind the scenes of particular episodes. Today we're looking at Season 6, Episode 10. As always, there will be a link in the description box below which will take you to a PDF of these notes, so that you can read through them in further detail, because there was more to this episode than the producers cared to show. The week begins with Bryn and Ashley arriving alone. Ashley wonders where the other mums are, as Bryn begins to stretch. Ashley tries to call Holly and Jess, but receives no response from them. Abby enters, confused at how empty her studio is. She apologises to Ashley for being late, saying that she was at a doctor's appointment to get her face checked out. This is probably because she ended up having a rash break out on her face last week. Ashley explains that she has no idea where the other mums are, and advocates for Bryn to have a solo this week. Abby grumbles that the mums are disrespectful for not showing up without any explanation. She then decides to give Bryn her solo Black Dahlia, which she starts working on. Then the rest of the mums show up in their pyjamas with curlers in their hair. The mums realise quickly that their prank gave Bryn the advantage this week, since Ashley decided to make the best of the situation. Apparently Ashley neglected to tell Abby that the rest of the girls were in school with Bryn that morning, making it seem as though the girls weren't at the studio at all yet, and giving Bryn more one-on-one time with Abby. The mums accuse her of not being a team player, and Ashley retorts that no one answered her phone calls. The girls begin to stretch in the studio, and Jill reminds Abby that Kalani can't dance this week due to her injury. Abby replies that Kira gave permission for Kalani to dance, and Jill argues that Kira hasn't seen Kalani in weeks, so she wouldn't know if she was ready to dance again. Abby ignores Jill, saying that Kalani will dance until she is in pain. Holly asks Abby who has the solos this week, and Abby explains that Maddie has one, and Bryn secured one when she was the only one to show up that morning. She says that the third one is still up for grabs. Once again, the mums begin screaming at Ashley for lying and manipulating Abby into giving Bryn a solo. Ashley tells them that if they showed up on time, this could have been avoided, and she and Jill begin to scream at one another. Ashley begins to cry, insisting that she's not a liar, and telling Jill that she's pure evil. Then the cast begins to film Pyramid. Ashley, however, stays outside on the bleachers. Bryn joins her, and Ashley asks if being part of the ALDC is really worth it. She explains that the mums will always find ways to make them look bad. Bryn says that she loves her solo this week, and wants to stick it out, so the pair head into Pyramid with the others. In Pyramid, Jess asks Kalani how she's feeling, and Kalani insists that her back is feeling better this week. She says that she thinks she can do the group dance. On the bottom of the pyramid is Kalani, followed by Kendall, Nia, Mackenzie, Jojo, Bryn, and Maddie, who is put on top. Abby tells Bryn specifically that she was the weak link in the group dance, looking too frail to be a Fosse dancer. She then goes on to assign Bryn her Black Dahlia solo, Maddie her Lizzie Borden solo, and Kendall her Natalie Wood solo. Jill begins to argue with Abby, saying that Kendall has gotten the short end of the stick all season. She claims that something always seems to go wrong with her choreography, music, or costume. Jess immediately chimes in that JoJo is great at character pieces if Jill doesn't want Kendall to do the solo. Abby then announces that the group dance is called The Cult. At the bleachers, Holly asks Abby who will have the final solo. Abby says that the number was meant for Kendall, but it won't be for much longer if she and Jill continue to give her attitude. The mums are shocked that Kira allowed Kalani to dance this week. Melissa tells the mums that Kira is going to return next week, and Jill says that she'll believe it when she sees it. As the girls rehearse, Abby pulls Kendall aside. Jill joins her to make sure that Abby's behaving herself. Kendall explains to them that she didn't perform her best last week, and wants to make sure that she's ready technique-wise before going up against Maddie and Bryn. Then Jill and Kendall talk one-on-one. Jill doesn't think that Kendall should be feeling defeated before she's even begun working on her solo. Kendall simply replies that she's done with being set up. Jill tells Kendall that solos make her a better dancer, and that she needs to show Abby respect as her dance teacher. Kendall agrees to do the solo, sick of her mum's nagging. Kendall then begins to cry, saying that she's tired of always having the disadvantage and learning her solos in one day. The next day, on the drive to the ALDC, Jill tries to convince Kendall to accept the solo. Jill claims that Kendall owes Abby an apology for being disrespectful at the competition last week. Meanwhile, Holly and Nia enter the studio, discussing Holly's research on cults. She explains that cult leaders control their members, isolate them, and are financially needy. Nia thinks that these sound a lot like traits that Abby has. When Gianna grabs the girls to rehearse, Holly reads out this list of traits to Abby, who herself agrees that they all describe her. Ashley asks Abby why she accused her of being a liar yesterday. Abby explains that Ashley lied to use the mum's absence to her advantage because she knew that the girls were in school and didn't say anything. She storms off, arguing that she doesn't want Ashley to make Bryn a liar too. The mums claim that Ashley should have watched their kids while they were pulling their prank. Holly accuses Ashley of only being frustrated because Abby is mad at her. Ashley then targets Jess, claiming that she's drinking Melissa and Jill's Kool-Aid and becoming a psycho version of the pair. In the other room, Kendall apologises to Abby, saying that she wants the solo. Abby is hesitant to give it to her though, because of her negative attitude at the competition last week, and her unenthusiastic response when she was assigned the dance at Pyramid. She claims that she doesn't want to be blamed for setting Kendall up, and adds that it's too late to order another costume. She decides to get Bryn to teach Kendall a combination from Maddie and Bryn's duet last week to use in the solo. Jill reminds Kendall that she needs to showcase her technique, which annoys Kendall. She reminds her mum that she's been on the team for years, and Abby knows how good she is. Jill speaks to Abby, who tells her that she doesn't want to be blamed if Kendall doesn't win, since they only decided to do the solo this morning. Jill questions why Bryn is the one teaching Kendall, which angers Abby. She retorts that if Kendall doesn't want Bryn to teach her, she'll have to wait for hours to learn anything. Jess questions why Kendall is receiving recycled choreography, claiming that Abby's just being lazy. Jill points out that the routine was Maddie's from last week, so at least it must be good. Ashley reminds the mums that Kalani's injury is what caused their issues last week. She argues that if Kira was here, she would have known not to let Kalani dance last week right from the beginning. She tries to get Melissa to discuss the issue, but Melissa makes excuses for Kira. Jill throws the spotlight back on Ashley, asking how she got Abby to assign Bryn a solo before Pyramid even began. Ashley retorts that she had to do what was best for Bryn, since they're still fighting to be on the team. The mums watch Bryn's solo rehearsal and ask her why she hasn't asked Abby to give her any new tricks. Jess warns Bryn that if she doesn't speak up, she'll never get the chance to prove to Abby that she can do more than just lyrical. The mums then discuss the fact that Bryn's solo is in the open category, when there are no tricks and it's clearly just a lyrical piece. Heading into the studio, Holly asks Abby to clarify what the story of the group dance is about. Abby doesn't seem to have an answer, spouting a bunch of ideas about how the dance can be interpreted. She does, however, focus on Maddie's part, going over the story and emotion behind her every move. Abby throws out a bunch of different stories that could be told by the dance, but none of them seem very solid. It's a shame that Abby doesn't seem to know what story she's telling with this group dance. Leaving a cult is a really big step in a lot of people's lives, and it would have been nice if Abby did a bit more research before making this routine. The final rehearsals take place in San Jose. Abby reminds Kendall that the last time she performed at this particular competition, the judges criticised her acting. She demands that Maddie needs to be using a prop axe, and Melissa replies that the axe that they have is too heavy for Maddie to dance with. Abby becomes furious, demanding that Melissa needs to get Maddie an axe as soon as possible. Holly calls out Abby for not having a clear narrative in the group dance. She reminds her that Debbie Allen taught them that it's important to tell a story in their dances. Abby retorts that she will not be changing the choreography. Jill explains to the mums that Kendall's solo costume is a hand-me-down from Maddie's duet last week. Jess says that it's a slap in the face to Kendall that Abby won't order her a custom costume like she did for Maddie and Bryn's solos. The mums seem tired of Abby reusing her choreography again and again, and question why Abby won't bring in guest choreographers. Melissa claims that Abby is selfish and doesn't want to give anyone else the chance to become famous. Ashley claims that while Kira tells Melissa that she's invested in the team, she's also tweeting fans, telling them that she will never return to the ALDC. Melissa defends her, claiming that Kira was just kidding. Competition day begins with Gianna taking the girls aside to rehearse. Ashley asks Melissa about an article that she found, which claimed that Maddie won't be returning next season. Melissa replies that if Maddie books a job, they'll probably leave, but until then they'll remain a part of the team. She insists that the article is a rumour, and Jess tells her that she should get her publicist to put out a statement. Holly turns to Abby, asking how Maddie leaving would impact the rest of the girls. Abby deflects, saying that she's a control freak when it comes to the girls. Melissa reassures the mums that Maddie isn't going anywhere. Abby, meanwhile, realises that the girls are rehearsing in a room that is down a flight of stairs, and refuses to go down there. Holly gets a call from Kerry, one of the mini-mums, who asks if this season will really be Maddie's last season. She lets the junior mums know that the minis will be back next week. Melissa returns to the room, refusing to elaborate on the rumours, and insisting that Maddie isn't going anywhere. She does finally admit though that if Maddie books another movie, she won't be back. It's crazy how one minute Melissa's insisting that Maddie isn't leaving, and then the next she's admitting that she may not return. It's no wonder that in later weeks the mums were so confused about what was really going on. Ashley gloats to the mums that while Kendall's hair and costume is recycled, Bryn has been given a dark character. Jess shoots back that Bryn's gory makeup this week must be to distract from the fact that Bryn isn't a strong dancer. Ashley says that Bryn can't be that bad, since Abby keeps giving her dances. Jill reminds her that she lied and manipulated Abby this week to get Bryn the solo. Jess then calls Bryn a liar, causing a massive fight to break out between her and Ashley. When Ashley begins to cry, Jill and Jess begin to mock her, making little crying noises. After the solos perform, everyone meets up in the lobby. Jess calls Abby out for reusing the same costume, hairstyle, and choreography from last week's duet for Kendall's solo. Abby admits that she wanted to shut Jill up about Kendall being set up by giving her a winning piece. The mums talk again about Maddie leaving, and Melissa admits that Maddie will be leaving soon to work on a movie with Sia. Abby is livid, asking Melissa why she didn't hear anything about this movie and why Sia didn't contact her about it. Well, Abby isn't Maddie's guardian or mother, so maybe that's why. As they get ready for the group dance, the girls still seem pretty confused about cults. Holly compares the ALDC to a cult, saying that Kelly and Christy left aggressively after they'd had enough of drinking the Kool-Aid. Jess asks Kalani if her mum is really returning next week, after what she tweeted. Kalani says that her mum was just joking, and explains that her mum had instructed her to pack all week so that they could be ready to move into an apartment together. After the group performs, awards begin. Bryn comes second in the junior category, Maddie wins first in the teen category, Kendall comes second in the teen category, and the group wins first in both the teen and overall categories. Back in the lobby, Jess points out that Bryn didn't win her category. The week concludes with Ashley bringing Kool-Aid into the room, which everyone drinks to celebrate their win. And with that, we've reached the end of episode 10. Do you think Ashley was to blame for the failed pajama prank? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.